Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stand Up Speakeasy. I'm your host, Sareth Ney, and every episode I bring a comic on to shine some light onto them and give them their flowers. So without further ado, welcome Cindy Ann. How are you, Cindy Ann?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for being my guest today.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And so I was looking through your website, and it's so nicely done. Did you design it yourself, or did you have someone do it?
I did some of it and then my son did the rest.
Wow,
Yeah.
impressive.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Indeed, it's the best way to go is if you build it your own, because then you can just go in there and modify your dates and all that stuff, and that's
Yeah.
people, especially
Well,
cheap.
I use Wix and it's fairly user friendly. But I do think it's funny that you said that because I'm like, my gosh, I need to update my website and make it more, I think it's a little, so I want to just spruce it up a bit, but it's good that you like it.
Oh yeah, it's very clear and to the point, and the the background is nice, easy on the eyes. I mean, it's not so much things going on with advertisements and pop-ups. It's like
Yeah.
straight to the point. I like it.
Ah, nice. Well, that's me, straight to the point.
Yep, absolutely. We got to trim the fat on their jokes, so that's
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. Yes.
absolutely good stuff. So, Cindy Ann, you were born and raised in Trinidad and Tobago, and you're based in Florida. So, what was it like being born and raised in Trinidad and Tobago?
The best. Um, yeah, in terms of, I think I had a very good foundation. And I mean, all my family is from Trinidad and Tobago. So it was very wholesome, is the best way I can describe it. Very, very wholesome.
Awesome. That's great. I I was born and raised in Colorado for the most part, and I miss it, but the thin air just makes my nose bleed. I'm like, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, yeah, Colorado. I could see that. I mean, for me, the mountains, the ocean, the everything about Trinidad and Tobago to me was my heart.
You got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, reminds me of my days in my years in California, because we got some mountains and we got the ocean, so it was beautiful out there while it lasted.
I know, right? I mean, the days we just have hot and cold weather. So that's the only thing. But I live in the mountains so that they're like December months get it gets cold, nice, crisp.
Awesome, good stuff. No snow, I'm guessing, because it's in the tropics.
No, 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 no snow.
Yeah,
Well, we don't know. With what's happening, maybe in a few years we might experience snow in Trinidad and Tobago.
absolutely. You never know.
You never know.
Yep. So you're based in Florida, and so what's it like living in Florida, doing stand up in Florida, and all that good stuff?
I think because Florida is such a melting pot, it's because I tend to be able to relate to a lot of people in the audience most times. Um, it's different. I mean, I had to learn a lot. Like I had to grow a lot. I had to learn a lot because culturally it's so different for me. So it's good. I've been doing comedy now for almost 10 years here. So yeah, so if I compare when I started to now, this feels like home when I'm on stage because it's what I know. I started comedy in Florida. So,
I agree. There's no place
yeah.
like it for sure.
Yeah. No place like Florida or no place like home.
Um, that both of them and the stage. So
Oh, okay. Because right, right. So, performing in Florida for me, it depends because there's so many different pockets. Like you can perform in Miami and you get a very different audience as opposed to if you go on the West Coast, if you go Broward, it's so sometimes you just have to kind of flow with the audience and say, all right, read the room.
indeed, 100%. And you're a masterful storyteller. So are that mostly your sets, like no one liners, or just
Yeah,
a
I
little
don't do
sprinkled in?
one-liners. I don't,
Yeah.
yeah. I like the idea of a nice story, like a nice build, and I love storytelling. So I do stand-up comedy. I've done the Moss. Are you familiar with the Moss?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I've done the Moss. And so I love storytelling. I mean, those people, I'm not good at one-liners. I'm
Mm.
not good. But there are some people who are, I mean, masters at it. So I leave it to them. Yeah, I'm not that.
Me, indeed. I mean, I how long is your like one of your storytelling jokes?
How long is one of them? Hmm. Well, with comedy, right? So you start off with on topic. I can speak on a topic for like 5 minutes. It
Uh,
depends because you can always add a tag and add a tag and so yeah, I can speak on one topic for about, yeah, 5 minutes.
wow, impressive.
Yes. Oh yeah. Thank you, I think.
Yeah, like mine is like 2.5 minutes, but it's like it's a layers of tags and the final punchline. It's like, oh my gosh, and the whole audience is in on it.
Yeah. Well, you know what I realize, like I would say it's starting to click now for me with comedy. And I remember when I started, everyone was like, in 10 years, you're going to feel and start really feeling your true voice. And I get it because the comedian I am today, it's not the comic I was 10 years ago, And so I've realized that there's so much, like sometimes we get a topic and we don't delve into it, like, because there's so much meat underneath. You know what I mean? Like you may give a joke about a dog, but just talking about a dog, there's so much you can just and so I'm learning to squeeze the shit out of a topic. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Yeah, to really wring it out. I mean, because we're all still learning and growing. I mean, I still have a long way to go to learn and develop. And so I'm still a student of the art, and I don't think that ever changes. I hope it never changes.
I hope so too. Like
Yeah.
same with me, and I don't know, like my friends helped me discover my voice out up in here in Daytona Beach.
Oh, nice.
They just watch my sets like for like the couple of years, and they're like, you notice that you say really dirty things without any curse words. You're like the cleanest, dirtiest comic in Daytona Beach. That's you.
That's good. That's good. People tend to think that comedy is like a one. I mean, it is because it's just you on stage, but there's so much background work that goes into it. Because, like you say, your friends help you, and you have friends who will give you a tag, and I don't think you can do it without that. Yeah. So as much as it's a one person thing on stage, but it takes a team to really, it really takes a community, whatever your community is. It doesn't have to be a large community, but I know you need a community in this industry.
100%. I agree. I'm so thankful like for the Daytona Beach scene because we're like there's only probably 10 of us, you know,
Mm,
and so we have to drive like an hour in every like almost every direction just to do 5 minutes. But we have like one mic and maybe like a bonkers room and like maybe or three showcases. But
right.
yeah, but it's just we gotta just drive and go places.
Well, 10 is like two hands. You know what I mean? 10 is just right. You just have two hands. That's perfect.
Indeed.
Five and five. Just
Oh
kidding.
yeah, most definitely. Very close knit, and we're the misfits, the island of misfit toys. They say because we can say bad things that we can't say in other cities. So.
Oh, I need to get to Daytona then. I have a lot of
Oh,
bad shit I want to say.
oh yeah, it's so much fun. That's what
Good.
comedy's about. It's supposed to be fun.
It should be. It should be. But it's, one of my favorite comedians is Patrice O'Neill.
Oh, I love him.
Oh, and he said, I remember in an interview or something, he said, comedy, 50% of the people should be laughing and the other 50% should be horrified. Like, just like, what is going on here? And I was like, I love that because I think I love that formula. I'm like, yeah, let some people be like, what? Yeah, I love that. I really love that.
Indeed. So you know that my comedy is described as the cleanest, dirtiest comic in Daytona Beach, and yours is described as a delightful rum punch of comedy with original material and authentic delivery. So is it how who described it like that for you?
Ben Lees, I think. I don't want to misquote. I think I shouldn't call any names until I verify. I think it was him. He described it as that, as a
Wow.
delightful because of my accent, and yeah.
Well, it's well put, so it's excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. So, you started your journey as a comedian in 2014,
Hmm.
coming to terms with empty nest syndrome. So your kids just left the house, and that's how you all started.
Yeah. My son left for college, and I was like, now it's my time. Do you have kids?
No, I'm single, no kids.
Yeah,
So,
amen. Amen. Uh, I have one son, and he's the love of my life, you know. But when he left for college, I had devoted all of my life to him and whatever he wanted to do. So when he left, I was like, okay, time to figure some shit out and do what I want to do. And comedy has always been just right there for me. I'm like, I want to try this. I've always been a very good storyteller, or as we call in Trinidad, we call it a shit talker or old talk. I love old talk, where you sit in a rum shop and you just, and you just banter and you have. I love that. I've always been very like I could hold court. You know, I've always been great doing that. So I was like, let me try stand up comedy. And I thought it would be similar to but it's so very different. And it's there are some things about it that are similar, but in terms of structure and discipline and that it's not just old talk on stage. There's a
indeed,
structure, there's a formula, it's work.
indeed. I wish I can. I wish my act outs were much better, but I'm like a stand and deliver kind of person. So I'm like I'm not all over the place. And
Yeah.
like all my buddies that are all over the place are so hard to take photos of because it's so blurry all the time. I'm like, would you stand still? Would you?
Oh, I love that. So you're into the photography too. You do it for the gram? Isn't that you do it for the gram?
Oh no, I used to do it all the time for like my for Facebook, and then
Mm.
I was like, so like I'm so close to the stage, and like a lot of times people just use my photos as their headshots or as their promotional for the flyers. I'm like, oh, they're all over the place, you know. So I'm like, I must take really good photos, and they're not edited or nothing. I just throw it up there, and I'm like, oh,
Oh,
these people
nice.
really use my stuff.
Nice. Yeah, 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 yeah. No.
So all my buddies like sometimes they like tag me in their posts and I'm like, thank you so much for this and stuff. And I don't charge people. I know I should charge them, but I'm like all like the majority of comedians are like broke, or can't afford to like pay a photographer.
Exactly. I'm glad you touched on that. So whoever is listening will know that they should pay us when they want us to perform.
Absolutely. So
Yes.
100%. It's like we're tired, we're chicken tenders. We can't put it in our gas tank. Give us
Right.
some money.
Exactly. And exposure doesn't help either. It's okay. Yeah.
No way. And that's why, like, I found value, like, I want to bring value to comedians. It's like we need that. Like, we need people
Yeah.
to take photos of us when we're on stage, so we can use it on flyers and stuff, and people like to get interviewed on podcasts and
Hmm.
or live streams so that they can get press. It's like
Right.
we all need, like, it's a better form of an exposure than not being paid for our jokes because a
Yeah.
lot of us are out there carefully crafting this joke for the audience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We do it for them. I mean, for both of us. Comedy's therapy for me. It's healing.
yeah,
Um, but I have found that sometimes the worst jokes, and by worst I mean the really dark jokes, get the most laughs. And I think it's because so many people are thinking the same thing. They just don't have the stage to say it. They don't have the opportunity to talk about it. So that when we mention it, they're like, oh yeah. It gets
yeah.
it gets uncomfortable, and they're like, yeah. Like one of my really horrific jokes that I didn't think would do well. When I did it the first time, I was like, let's see how it's gonna do. And people loved it. And I was like, okay, because we represent that kind of inner thought. Like, I wish I could say this out loud, but you know what? Cindy Ann just said it for me.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that too. It's like that, just tackling those taboos, like we were talking off camera. It's like it's just so much fun to like get that because I did a show in Atlanta one time and like it was like you can hear a pin drop pretty much when I was telling a joke, but like when the punchlines hit, they were just like holy, they were just like one lady just says oh. crap, but the other word, and like,
Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
that's what I love. There's like another reaction than a laughter, because, like you said, 50% to be, funny, and 50% to be like terrified. It's like,
Yeah. Just horrified, but what just came out your mouth,
yeah,
I,
it's
I
so fun.
cannot. Sometimes they're like, I cannot believe she said that, but it's so good.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like putting a mirror up for them to see.
Yep. It's like we are your internet browser in your face.
Yes, so true.
Indeed. So, but yeah, you've done stand-up classes at the renowned Improv Comedy Club in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Mhm.
And so, what was the whole process like?
Well, when I decided I wanted to do comedy, I was like, because I have a very thick Trinidad accent, um, and because I wasn't sure how people would receive one, my accent, and my type of comedy. So I did the class at the Improv, and I think it was six weeks. I know, don't quote me, but I think it was 6 weeks. And we just went through a process of writing. We each did had to prepare 5 minutes for graduation night, and so it was that was it. We spent 6 weeks
Wow.
writing 5 minutes of material. And so, and I remember then 5 minutes seemed so long. I was like, I cannot be on stage for 5 minutes. I'm gonna die. Um, so that was it. And so we would each get on stage, do our stuff, and then the class would critique, give feedback, just help each other punch it up, remove, kind of fine tune, stretch it out, clean it up, and then we had a graduation night.
Was it completely sold out like the others that they have?
Yeah, ours was. I mean, yeah, but there was also a lot of us too. There were like, there were a lot of us. Maybe I know it was more than 12 of us. So when you think 12 and everyone invites, their friends, their family, it was packed. It was packed.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's an amazing feeling to perform out in the sold out rooms. There's just something about
Right.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that energy is just, and then when it's finished, then you have to deal with that. You know what I mean? You just, I don't know, the low of it, because it's it's a high.
Oh, yeah.
And then after the show, I don't know, I really battle after I have a very big, good show. I struggle for a few days, maybe weeks. You know what? Let me be honest, maybe a few years. Um, because it just gets very quiet. And then there's that noise again. So I'm like, that's why people do drugs. I should get more involved in some drugs.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Relax, relax. This is, I mean, listen, I don't smoke. I mean, I have an occasional drink, but the noise, it gets like, I don't know, like my head is constantly just tuning. Yeah.
Same here. My brain's like nonstop. I'm like, what did I get myself into? It's like
It never ends, right?
it never ends. But yeah, I'm straight edge myself. I haven't had a drink since I was like 21, and maybe smoked 2 cigarettes and smoked weed like maybe like a handful of times, and that was about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I've never smoked. I've never smoked. I never had a desire or an interest in it. But I mean, a glass of wine, some whiskey, a beer. I drink, Um, funny, I don't drink before I perform because
Oh yeah, don't you?
no, I can't. I need to be in control. No, some people need to take the edge off. They might take a shot or two, and that's fine if that's your thing. I tried it. It did not work for me.
No way.
So I'm just like, sometimes I may have a shot of whiskey. It depends where the show is. It depends on the mood but generally, when I'm finished, that's when I can relax and really get into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get
Sometimes,
in the
like I said, yeah. Sometimes I've had a beer or a shot of whiskey or something, but I don't. The rule of thumb for me is to not drink.
same. Get
Yeah.
in the zone, the auto zone.
Yeah. You know it. You
Yep.
know it.
Indeed. And I love performing in front of like four people too, like for some strange reason. Like it's just because I put like I DJ and I close up the open mic at the in Daytona, which is tonight at the Trinidad Irish pub, and I just I promote the heck out of it, and then I let all the young comics go up into a filled room, and then whoever is like left over, which is usually like three drunk people, I'm like I'll perform in front of them. Let the
Wait, did you
young
just
comics.
say that you DJ?
I do. Yep.
You
It's
look, the hat, the look, you do have a DJ look.
Oh, thank you.
What's
They
your
call
DJ
me
name?
my DJ name is DJ Sticky Angel. Yeah. It's a nickname from the comics. They go if you because I'm a dirty comic and the DJ so they say like the motto is if you hug me your clothes will get pregnant.
Oh shit.
I know. So I didn't come
Deadly.
up with those two and but my friends Andre Dolan in Daytona, he nicknamed me DJ Sticky Angel. So
So like if you hug from in front, like a front hug or a back hug or just any hug.
any hug your clothes will get pregnant because I'm such a dirty comic. So it's like
Shit.
I know it's so fun though.
I'm telling you. Okay, do your thing. Do your thing.
Oh yeah, like everyone that comes to the Nog, I get to like they pick their songs. Like I go up to individual ones because I say, all right, what gets you pumped up? What gets you in the mood? And so I play their walk up song, and then when they walk off, and I want to get them prepared for big comedy clubs because that's what they do. It's like you
Hmm.
pick your song that you want to walk up to.
Correct.
So by the time they get up there, they're ready to go in front of like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
300
yeah.
people with their
It sets
song.
the tone. Yeah, it sets the tone too. It gets the audience involved. But let me just go back to the pregnancy thing with the hug. Do you think you have kids out there that you don't know about?
Oh, I hope not.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Maury's not there to help me anymore. He's gone. So
Ah. Well, when God closes one door, He opens the door for another Maury to come on the scene. So no, you don't stress. Somebody's gonna help you out. You should
yeah,
look into it.
I will look into it. I just bought a manila envelope and put it in my car so I can put my insurance and registration in it. Hopefully, it just says the results are in.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Good stuff. Awesome. I'm having so much fun. This is
Yeah, this is
fantastic.
nice. This is nice. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so very much for bringing my guests. We got a few more from your bio, and then we'll go to a second act, which is like I ask like the basic questions I ask every comic, and the
Okay.
third act is like nominating comedians to be on future episode.
Okay, let's
So
go.
awesome,
Shoot.
sounds good. So but yeah, yeah, they allowed you the class they they made you believe in your talents and with the beaming energy that resonates with the audience wherever you go. So
Hmm.
that's part of your bio too. Like I have trouble editing in my head, so I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna just read off the
Yeah, that's
bio
fine. That's
and just
fine.
go in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a two-time finalist of the Florida's Funniest Female competition, and so congratulations. That's pretty
Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah.
So is that a lot of everyone from like Florida's females from all over the state?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and that really kind of jump started my career, I would say. That Florida's Funniest Female. I met some really amazing comedians. And so we were able to build a community and support each other and just build each other up. And, just doing those shows with Comic Cure really, really sort of set, I would say, the foundation for me to grow.
Indeed, that's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. I hear
Yeah.
some really great things about Comic Cure. I mean, my friend Heather Hill talked about them, and like my LG talked about them off
Mm-hmm.
the air, and just doing 3 minutes set opened so many doors just to like
Yeah.
getting booked
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. It opened doors, but as well, like I said, like one of my very, very dear friends, I met her at doing the Comic Cure shows, you know? Because like I said, this industry it can be very lonely because you're alone on stage. And so just having one or two people that you can just text when, like a non-civilian, like somebody who understands the industry, somebody who would get what you're saying, it makes a huge difference. Yeah. So Florida's Funniest Female, like I said, opened a few doors for me and really introduced me to some amazing people.
Indeed, that's great to hear. So shout out to Richie and all them.
Yeah, Richie
Uh,
and Ben. Yeah.
Yeah, Richie and Ben.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Awesome. And I found out about it through like so many like my friends that want to do clean comedy because that's what they
Yes.
look
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. They're very, very clean. And maybe someone who's watching this is like, yeah, but Cindy, and you are not very, very clean. To be clear, which we spoke about off just before we got in, I can do both. So, when I do my shows, um, and it's predominantly like, particularly because I perform back home as well. When I do my shows in Trinidad and Tobago, I don't curse at all. I don't use, yeah, I can't. So there's a difference between clean and do, people think clean meaning like it's not knock knock jokes. The
Right.
content is still adult material, but it's like late night clean. You know what I mean? So that you can still talk about topics and discuss topics that are taboo, but in a sort of a, that's where the talent comes in and the skill comes in to sort of package that and gift wrap it in a way for people to not feel like, oh my God. Um, Again, I want to be very clear. There's nothing wrong with people going, oh my God. The shock. Oh my, that's, I had someone disrupt a show once and she was like, I'm sorry. Um, this is distasteful. The topic I was speaking on. And I said, you know what's distasteful? Life is distasteful. You are being distasteful now by disrupting the entire show. Maybe this joke isn't for you, and I can respect that, but maybe someone else is enjoying it. So, and then I have learned in when you are performing and you have a heckler, oftentimes the audience will help you sort it out if you allow them to, because they paid and they want to see a show. And then there's this person who's just like blah 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 blah, blah. And the audience gets frustrated. And so sometimes if you just
Yeah.
stand back, it allows it. Sometimes you have to go in too if the heckler is being ridiculous. But a lot of times the audience will be like, "Shut up!" Oh
Yeah.
my God. So yeah,
It's a good feeling when they have your back.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It really is. So
Indeed. Like whenever I get heckled, I'm like, I agree, and then they shut up, and then
right.
it's you got to agree to disagree, and so that way it's like the heckles bounce off. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm like, and then my material continues.
yeah. Well, it takes a lot now to derail me. Now that I've
Yeah.
been doing it for so long, it takes a lot to derail me. So
Same here. It takes a while, and like my act, I call it my act because it's like it's like chronological order. So
mhm.
even if they do try to derail me, I'll know where I'm at
Right.
to pick up
Yeah.
where I left off. And a lot of
Yeah.
people are just so ADHD and all their jokes are all over the place. It's like put it in order and then you'll be fine. And
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. 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 I think like I've been doing it, like I said, for almost 10 years. And you learn. And I honestly think um because you're around comedians who've been doing it for a very long time. And I remember this comic saying once, there's no real such thing as cancel culture. Because and I think that to be true, because you may not appeal to X, but you may appeal to Y. So I think the important thing is to stay true to yourself for me. And your tribe will come. Don't try to do jokes because you think that's what people want to hear about, or you think that's what people will find funny. You're gonna lose your way at some point.
definitely,
Yeah.
most definitely. Know your audience, and your vibe will attract your tribe.
Yeah. Know yourself before you even get to know your audience.
Oh yeah,
Know yourself and what you are capable of and what you think is funny and what resonates with you, and speak truth to your being. And I think it's not that you will never, I mean, be heckled or have a bad show or bomb. There's no guarantee, but at least you're doing it while being true to yourself. You're not trying. So, you know what I mean? And so you can only say, okay, Sanyan, you had a rough night tonight. Why? Why did I have a rough night? And oftentimes you know why. I know why. Sometimes I'm not prepared. I'm ill prepared. I get on stage and something happens and I'm like, I didn't do enough today to prepare for this event. Which happens.
Indeed. And sometimes, your best stories comes from bombs, like so, like my
Yeah.
worst bomb was like happened on my birthday at my homeroom at the Nog. And so it was so bad that I sang happy birthday to myself and it was horrible.
Oh my gosh. Well, I remember at the beginning when I just started doing comedy, um, I was doing a joke about animals and the relationship with animals that coming from the Caribbean and then coming to the US. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was doing a bit about, that. And this lady was in the audience with her pet, like her little puppy. And she was like, shut up.
Wow.
That's not funny. I love my dog. Da, 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 da. And I had been doing comedy maybe 2 years. And I just wrapped up and I got off the stage because I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh my God. Now, I mean, like you said, so because of that, I was like, oh my God, okay. Um, I think I may have apologized. Like, I'm sorry. And I just left the stage, right? Just like, okay, that's my time. And I left. Now I'm like,
Right, exactly.
no, yeah,
You develop thick skin, it's like nothing can stop you.
yeah. And I have comedian friends that do jokes that I would not do or that I don't particularly agree with, but I respect it. And I will, I mean, if I'm there, I'm not going to be like, boo, whoa,
Right.
whoa. No, that's your, you talk, you speak on what's true to you. And I'm not going to do it. That's not my thing. Yeah. But if that's your thing, let's go. Let's go. You have my support 100%. Do your shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Own it.
Own it. Own
Own the
it.
room. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But like comedy and art in general is subjective and
Mm-hmm.
like and that's why I watch all the comedians that go before me on stage. It's like, all right, is it a clean room or is it a dirty room? And then you plan it accordingly.
Yeah.
Or yep. So
Oh, okay. I don't know if it depends if I'll watch all the comedians or not. Because sometimes it gives me anxiety. Yeah.
sometimes it's
Sometimes.
cringe too. So
Yeah. No, just the anxiety for me in the room sometimes. Sometimes it's unavoidable. You have to because of the way the room is set up. You have to be a part of the show. But sometimes you don't. And I'm okay with that too. So that you get out there, you don't know that there is someone in the audience who is yelling. You don't, so you're not coming out already to defend. You don't know what's taking place. So it depends.
that's for sure. Last night was one of those nights where like they were heckling the host and the first comic that went up there was just like grilling that audience member. I'm like, oh come on. Like I was like putting my head down and everything. I'm like, oh jeez. When is this over?
I
Like
remember
that.
when I started too, and a lot of the open mics. Now the scene is so much better than when I started 10 years ago. Um, well, not 10, almost 10 years ago. It's not 10, 9 years ago. It's so much better because we have so many opportunities to perform in Florida. There weren't that many opportunities before.
Nope.
No, there were a lot of old dive bars. People were drunk. It was tough. So I'm really thankful for the people who run rooms and host, because it's not easy. It's not an easy job, and it can sometimes be very thankless. So yeah, shout out to all the people who are hosting events and hosting rooms and producing shows for us to get stage time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the ones that pay us.
Oh well. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shout out to yeah. Especially those who see value
Yeah.
in paying us. And like it doesn't have to always be $1,000, but
Right.
at least respect me enough to give me something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let me sell
Yeah.
merch too to compensate for
Yeah.
the rest of it.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
tough, and I understand because I do shows as well. I produce shows, um, and it's like I said, it's thankless. It's a lot of work to get seats, to get butts in those seats, to promote the show. To yeah, it's a lot, and so, but we do it for the people.
we do. We do it for the people for sure. Awesome. I'm glad we're all in the same boat because, man, it's like, our being my roots in Cambodia and yours is in Trinidad and Tobago. We share the same boat.
Yeah, we do. What
Yeah.
size boat is this?
Oh, the one that we're making sure that it's for the audience and that we put cheeks in seats and we do comedy for the people. And that's what I
Ah,
mean by it's like a
I
just a general
know.
saying.
I know. I was just kidding. Listen. I know.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So Cindy, and you also performed at the Boston Comedy Festival in 2021. So, um, but how was what is it like performing in Boston?
Ah, it was so much fun. It was, I mean, everybody was just so good. It was so much fun. It was,
Wow.
yeah, it was. I think, yeah, Boston Comedy Festival was my first out. No, I did one in New York years ago. I had just started comedy and I was like, let me. Boston comedy was like my first real comedy festival. It was amazing just to sit. I didn't advance, but I got a good response from the audience and I had fun. I met some incredible people as well. And just seeing people perfect this art form and just getting up there and just doing some tight set. It was so, I was like, it was very inspiring and motivating for me to be like, okay, I have to get better. I need to write better. I have work to do. Boston was amazing.
Wow. I I want to go there so bad. I've never done the Upper East Coast, and I want to do all of that. So
Okay.
it has to be so much fun. So maybe I'll plan it too, or we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apply to it. Yeah. I haven't been applying to festivals for a bit because it's costly too.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. You pay. You have to register. You have to pay to register. Then you have to organize all of your flight. It's not cheap. Um, so I put it on the back burner for a bit. Maybe next year I'll look out and do some. Maybe. But I mean, if you can, I think it's a great way to network, to learn, and to grow. Yeah, I think it's a really great way. And because of the pandemic and this doing online shows, I was able when I got to Boston to meet people who I had met on online shows, you
it's
know?
it's a good feeling. I did like maybe one or two Zoom shows. I'm like, it's not the same, but like you said, it
Oh my
builds your network though. It builds
God,
your network.
Zoom shows. I don't know. I did quite a few. Um, I don't know how there were days I just wanted to slit my wrist. I was like, Jesus Christ, Zoom shows? Oh my God. It's rough.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's rough.
Indeed. I did this virtual festival one time and like I was doing my jokes for and she just kept on playing sound effects throughout the whole entire thing. I'm like, this is so bad. Let me go. Like this is some festival this is. And so I unfollowed all of them and I'm like, this is crap.
No, I don't think I did any virtual festivals,
Yeah.
but I did do a lot of online shows. And I'm thankful for it because, like I said, I met people in Chicago. I was introduced to people in Canada, in South Africa. So it really sort of shrunk the world a bit. Yeah.
That's great. Indeed. Awesome. So you've done stand up in venues across Florida, Connecticut, London, Los Angeles, Chicago, New York City, Ontario, and Trinidad and Tobago. And so, what are some of your favorite memories from globetrotting?
Let me see what's my favorite memory. So many. But Trinidad and Tobago, going back home to do comedy for the first time was amazing. It felt really good. It was scary, but so fulfilling. So that would be anytime I go home, it's the best time. New York. New York, I loved the vibe, the energy. I mean, New York is comedy, I mean, central. So to perform in New York and just get that energy from the audience. Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's so many. Oh, you know what would be one of my favorites? I opened for Michel Buteau about 6 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm not. I don't know what is time anyway. It could be 2 years ago. No, it was about 6 weeks ago. Maybe 2 months. Whatever. Um, at the Broward Center for Performing Arts, and it was incredible. It was wonderful. It was insightful. It was a lesson. Just, it was really good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm going to Chicago this weekend, so I'm so excited to do that. So just doing some mics and going on tour of comedy venues and making some
Nice.
mini documentaries about them. So it's gonna be so much
Yeah.
fun.
I actually did. I performed at the Lincoln Lodge in Chicago, but I didn't do comedy. I did a storytelling event.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I have to say, anytime I perform somewhere outside, like whether it's New York, wherever, and someone says in the audience, Trini, I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
That to me is the best.
it
Because I'm like,
is.
man, my people are here. Yes. And then I can say something Trinidadian. Like,
Yeah,
oh, God, what are you doing here? Who's there? I could just sort of undress and just be, yeah.
indeed. That's why I love like my buddies there's some of them. There's two comedians that are in Florida, Chris Saunders and Forrest Beers, and they speak Khmer. And whenever I get to see Khmer for everyone at home is the official language of Cambodia, and
Hmm.
whenever we see each other, we greet each other in Khmer, and we have conversations in Khmer. It's so cool, and
Nice.
one's white and one's half black, and it's just like you wouldn't expect us to speak Cambodian to each other. It's pretty awesome.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Awesome. So, I'll read just part of your bio again, which is professional goals aside, your love for spreading joy helps her you provide an escape from real world burdens through comedy to national and international audiences alike. So that's why you globetrot a lot and going to London and Chicago and all over the country. And this is so awesome to speak to someone that's been in Trinidad and Tobago just to perform everywhere. There's
Yeah.
comedy. It's great. And I'm glad that like you said, it's like a smaller world than you think it is when it comes to comedy and other things, of course. But you mentioned earlier that you opened for Michelle Bateau, and then you also opened for Ada Rodriguez, Chad
Hmm.
Daniels, and Samuel Bede, and I think that's how you pronounce it.
It's not
So
Samuel Obey.
obeyed. So how many? What was it like performing with them? All the others.
Scary at first. A little nerve-wracking, but once I got on stage and I got the first do it out, you always feel like, I don't know about you, but when I have to go on stage, I just feel this thing like this. Like, first of all, I have diarrhea all day long before I get
Oh,
on stage. When it's a big show, I'm like, Jesus, I can't. So I'm in the toilet constantly. Once that's over and I can actually stand erect without having to go to the toilet, and I get the first word out and I hear the first sound of laughter, it was amazing. And then to sit back, once I'm finished, and now I can sit back and watch them at work who've been doing it much longer than I have. And I can sit and learn a lesson or two. Yeah.
okay. Stage fright is real. Sometimes you got to get all that waste out of you before you get on stage. So
Yeah.
yeah,
What helps me is if at the beginning I do something that's not really part of my set. So even just saying hello, just that first, instead of just diving straight into a joke, even if I just say hello, oh, just to get that first, bubble out, and then I can go into it. And it's
indeed.
sometimes you get out there and you say something and you don't get the response that you were hoping for. and you just have to keep pushing through. At that point, my toes are like this in my shoe. I'm just like, oh my God, get me off of this stage. And until I get and I hear, I'm like, oh my God, okay. It's not easy.
It's not.
It's not easy. But listen, what I would suggest anyone with a desire to do it. Because it has taught me so much about myself. It really has. Do it. You want to do it? Do it.
Yep. What do you got to lose? Just go up there and do
No,
it.
well, you have a lot to lose. You have a lot to lose. You have your pride. You have your joy. You have your soul. You can lose your soul. But yeah, it's worth it.
It is worth it. Be like Nike and just do it. Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah. Indeed. So your motto is everything can be funny, but not everything is funny. And so what do you mean by that? Your motto?
That there is humor in everything. But if it's not packaged correctly, then it's not going to be funny. So it's like you can joke about abortion. You can joke about drugs. You can joke about incest. You can. There is humor in everything. But again, like if I try to do a joke about drugs and I don't have personal experience about drugs and I'm just pounding on some, there's a way to finesse it. I think I firmly believe that. Not I think that's my stance. There's humor in it. Yeah, and so that's what I mean. Everything can be funny, but not everything is funny because you may want to do a joke about someone who's an addict and you didn't do it justice to the topic. You delivered it. It was done. It wasn't well written. It wasn't well thought out. You didn't do any research. And so it wasn't received well. But I have seen people joke about, I'll tell you what, a friend of mine did a joke about cancer. And I had a friend in the audience whose mom was dying. And he could not stop laughing.
Wow.
And he was dealing with it in real time, like really having a difficult time seeing about his mom. And then this comic goes on stage, does a joke about cancer, and he's like, that's so funny. Because he related it in, you know what I mean? So everything can be funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just gotta learn how to finesse it.
Yeah, you just have to learn how to finesse it. And if you do it once, twice, 3 times, and people are not enjoying it, maybe you weren't able to finesse it. So move on.
Yep. Trim the fat and just throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're determined to leave your mark on and create meaningful connections through laughter, and that's what we're all aiming for. Well, the good comedians like you and I. So.
Yes. I love that you said that. Good comedians. I'll take it.
Absolutely. So Cindy Ann, this is the usual questions I ask everyone. So with that being said, what inspired you to perform stand-up comedy?
What inspired me?
Yep.
A platform to share my story. That was the inspiration. Just yeah,
Absolutely.
getting my thoughts out so that I don't go insane.
True
Help
that.
me deal. Yeah, it helps me deal with my anxiety and my depression. So.
Indeed, it's better than what Dita prescribes. So that's for sure.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. Indeed. Awesome. And what was it feeling like when you first performed stand-up?
What was it feeling like?
Mm-hmm.
Overwhelming. I remember my first time. I froze on stage at some point because I was like, oh my God, this is really happening. And then the audience was like, you can do it. You can do it. They were very supportive. It was graduation night. And yeah, so that was the first time. Like, I couldn't believe I was doing it.
Indeed. And earlier we talked about Patrice O'Neill, and one of my favorite things about him was Elephant in the Room. And so with that being said, what are some of your favorite comedy specials and comedy record albums?
Patrice O'Neill, for sure. Oh my God. These are questions you should send to me before, man. I can't even think on the spot. I know Patrice O'Neill. I mean, I've seen so many. Kathleen Madigan. She has one. I don't recall the name of it right now, but she has a special that she did this year, I think. I don't remember what. Yeah, but her most recent special, I loved. Um, Butopia, but with Michelle Wanda Sykes. Oh my God, I could go down. I have so many. I love Wanda Sykes. So many comedians for so many different. Bill Burr, he's one of my favorites too. Um, I want to say this. I always say I respect all comedians just for getting on stage. I have great admiration for anyone who gets on stage and does this shit. Because, like I said, it's not easy. Um, do I like all of them? No. Do I enjoy all of them? No.
Nope.
But I'm like, do your shit, do you, man. Kudos to you for getting on stage and bringing some sort of levity to life because we need it so badly. So
I
yeah, so I listed quite a few. Oh my God, I don't want to start calling names and I forget names, but you get it. Patrice O'Neill was one of the very first specials that I really watched over and over, Elephant in the Room, because there's a familiarity about his delivery that just relaxes me. And so before I even performed, I used to look at that special. I'm like, okay, look how he's so relaxed and so relatable. My son said it best. He's like, Mom, Patrice feels like the uncle, like an uncle that you would just meet at the dinner table, or he'll just come over one day and just make jokes, So that I loved about him. I love Dave Chappelle. I love Chris. I mean, there's so many. There's so many. Did I say Wanda Sykes,
yep,
Michelle,
yep.
Alana Glazer? I mean, there's a lot.
Indeed. 100%. And like when we were talking, I saw these little thumbs up on your side, and I'm like, maybe someone's watching it on Facebook, and they're just like, there's like these little bubbles. When you watch it back, you'll see these little like two thumbs like from different parts of the interview, and your
Oh,
thumbs
okay.
up.
Hi,
Yeah,
everyone, whoever tuned in.
yeah. Whoever you
Yeah.
are, thank you and everything. And let's see here. A couple of those folks have been on TV and film. So, what are some of your favorite sitcom sketch shows and comedy films?
Oh my God, I'm so bad with these things. Sitcoms. What do I watch? I'm really not a television person, so I'm trying to really dig deep to figure out The Office,
Yeah.
um, Abbott Elementary, um, The Upshaws. I enjoy. I liked what else? What else did you ask me?
Oh, sketch shows. So like
Well,
Chappelle Show,
SNL. Yeah, yeah,
SNL.
yeah, yeah. SNL. Um, have you seen Between Two Ferns? Between the Ferns.
With Zach
Zach.
Galifianakis.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love I love the ridiculousness of it. I
Yeah.
love it. That's my shit. So
Yeah.
I love that. With podcast, I like Smartless. I listen to Smartless a lot. I listen to Tig Notaro has a podcast, Ask Tig, that I like. There's so many. I just can't think of it. The podcast that those guys did when there was a strike. Strike Force 5. Wait, are you familiar with that one?
I'm not familiar. Yep. I usually like I read I do like I listen to like I watch Kill Tony and then
Right.
because I dream of being on that stage sometime and
Right.
I watch like clips of Joe Rogan because sometimes his are just too long for me.
Right. So
And
I watched clips of oh my gosh, Christina P. Tom Segura, Your Mama's House, I think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
called. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I look at that. There's so many. We'll spend the entire time here. There's so many.
Oh yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely. And Tom Segura's gonna be on tour with his Coming Together tour coming up here soon, so that's gonna
Yeah,
be
I
a lot of
saw that. I saw that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. And you inspired me just now. I got to insert podcast, comedy podcast in that question too now. So
Yeah, you should. You should.
And what are some of your favorite comedy movies?
Is it Due Date with Robert Downey Jr.? Do you know that movie?
It sounds like a pregnancy movie, right? Is it?
I think
It
it's, yeah, his wife was pregnant. Jamie Foxx is in it. Zach is in it. Due Date. I love that movie. Ah, hmm, I can't think of it.
same. That works for me. It's so if you can
Good.
go on tour with any comedian, locally and internationally known, which comedians would you like to go on tour with?
Wanda Sykes, um, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Michelle Buteau, Alana Glazer. Um, who else that I really, really, really like? Ronnie Chin. Am I saying his name correct?
I
Ronnie
think so.
Chang.
He's the Asian comic that's on
Yeah.
Netflix. Yeah.
He's one of the Asian. Oh my God, you asked me these questions. Let me think. Go on tour with Kathleen Madigan is good. So it's just a lot. It's a lot. But I
There
know of
is.
the top. Yeah. Like I love Wanda Sykes. Her actors I mean, by far one of the best to me. Um, yeah, there's so many of them. Well, I'm new and I'm young in this business too. So there are a lot of them that I would, because I have so much to learn and from different things from different comics. There's some of them no, thank you. But Bill Burr, oh yeah, I love his anger.
Indeed. See. Paanim Laval. Okay. That's my dad.
Okay,
Yep, he goes, let's talk about your car that you're gonna get. So I'm like, all
okay,
right, sounds good.
all right, all right. So is
Oh,
this it?
oh, there's a couple more that we got going, and so
Okay.
yeah, just a few more, but let's see here. If you also local comics that you wanna,
Was me in Florida.
yeah, which ones do you like to go on tour with?
Um, Est, should I be calling names? Esther Koo, um, so many of them too, and I think I might leave out some names. Um, a lot.
Indeed. I hear a lot of great things about Esther, so that's works for me. So if you can get roasted by five comedians, top five dead or alive, which comedians would you get roasted by?
Arrested
Roasted.
or roasted? Oh my gosh. Did you say dead or alive?
Yep. Past or present.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't given that any thought. I don't know.
That works for me. It's like there's like local ones, but a lot of people say Patrice O'Neill because he's been on a couple of those roasts, but and plus he'd be mean, so that'd be fun.
Right. Jeff Ross. Jeff Ross might be a good one. He's a roast master, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
he's the roast master.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. If where do you see your comedy during the next 5 years?
Growing and improving.
Awesome. And which other forms of comedy would you like to venture off into, like improv, sketch, comedy writing, acting, directing, etc.?
Which of them I like?
Would you like to venture off into?
Sketch, directing. If I'm understanding the question correctly, yeah.
Same here. I just filmed and directed my first sketch. It's on my YouTube channel. So
Nice.
yep. Instead of Uber, it's Woober. So like the Wu-Tang
Right.
thing.
Like Wu-Tang. Yeah, I was just about to say. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yep. It's like a 1 minute sketch. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Let's see here. Uh, what's your favorite joke a comic has written?
My gosh. Um, that I have written or a comic?
Either one.
Oh my gosh, Sareth. I can't I'm look, I have brain fog. I can't even think of a favorite joke. There's so many. That's a tough question.
Oh. We'll say yours then. What's your favorite
My
joke you've written?
my favorite joke to do? Um, anything to do with my son.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I bring my family into my material too. So
Oh, you
yeah,
know what? I love to talk about animals too.
indeed.
Yeah,
Animals are fun to joke about because they're just wild and free.
exactly.
Yeah, indeed. And what experience would you like your audience to take with them after a set is over?
Just like I said, I want them to leave laughing, like with some joy, but also reflective. Like, man,
Indeed.
she's right, or she's wrong, or I never thought about it this way.
Most definitely. Indeed. Great way to do it. Um and so uh so this next act is we're almost done, I
I was
promise.
just
We're at
about
the
to
one
say, there's still more?
just a little
Jesus
bit left.
Christ. Jesus
Just a little
Christ.
bit, I promise.
Okay. All right, let's go.
So this is the stand up speakeasy, and to be in the club, you got to nominate 5 more comics to be on the guest on with the show. So which local comics that are in your circle would you like to be see on the episode of the stand up speakeasy?
Esther Koo, John Cadet, Aldi, Victoria. Oh my God, there's so many of them. I just have to do 5. Esther Koo. One, how many did I give? 4?
I think so. We'll do one more for good measure.
Angela Naka.
Awesome, fantastic. And so, Cindy, Ann, do you have any shows coming up in the future?
I do. I'm actually writing my one-woman show that I'm gonna it's gonna be next year. I haven't set a date yet. I have a show this Friday in South Beach. Good Times. I have a few shows. You're asking me all these questions. I can't think. I don't know. Follow me on Instagram and you'll see everything that I'm doing.
Perfect. And Cindy's all the social media for Cindy and myself is down there. Donate to her Cash App, and she'll donate to what we talked about in email. Donate to my GoFundMe for I'm trying to help soundproof a venue that I have my festival at in Colorado.
Okay.
They need help to block out the sound because the neighbors are getting mad. So their
Ah,
link
okay.
is in the bottom below too.
Okay.
The last was just too loud there. But yeah, thank you so much for being my
Okay.
guest, Cindy Ann. You rock.
Bye.
Take
Yeah.
it easy.
You
And
too.
for
Bye bye.
everyone else, take care. See you soon. And my next show is tonight at the Orlando Story Club and the Nog every Wednesday. And tryouts for my festival in Daytona Beach is December 27th at the Nog Irish Pub. See you soon. Take
Bye.
care. See you.
Bye. Yeah. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thanks, Cindy.